Gotta be honest, this is the first for me seeing something like this.
Yellow caution tape blocking off part of Jackson Road in Enfield after homeowner officials say opened a safe and found not one but two vials inside. First responders tell Fox 61 that man then flagged down an Enfield policeman already patrolling the neighborhood.
They are clear glass vials. They look like a test tube. You can see a liquid inside of it. It's not leaking, it's not a danger.
But alarming enough to evacuate the house, send in firefighters, and call the State Department of Energy and Environmental Protection to figure out what that liquid was. DEEP officials arrive, inspected the vials, and suspect they say they contain chloropicrin, which is used as an antimicrobial.
Turns out it may be a product that was put into a safe for burglars. Could not see the vials. They're covered with a metal case. They're behind that, but he took the case off because he wanted to know what was there, and that's when he saw the vials.
Leaving neighbors wondering what was happening throughout the morning.
They're going to check it out.
Are you worried?
No.
Because state officials are no longer testing the liquids, the town of Enfield says they will dispose of it properly. Jill Konopka, Fox 61 News.